Great Tuesday morning, April 7th, 2020. To God be the glory. And I didn't realize that the public schools were officially on spring break during the Holy Week. And we thank the Lord that He gives us time to rest and reflect. We are in Isaiah 16, and in verse 6, the Lord talked about, in one version, arrogancy, boastfulness, and being conceited. Now we know that the Lord fearfully and wonderfully makes all of us, and He gives attributes, gifts, skills, abilities in each one of us, and He also makes our external shell, our tent. And I started thinking about David and Saul. In 1 Samuel, I think the 9th chapter, talks about how Saul was the son of a very powerful man, Kish, and Saul was very, as it described, handsome in verse 2. He said, well, he was goodly. It means that he was really good to look upon, and he was very tall. It said that he stood a head above everyone else as far as he looked down. And the Lord wants us to be reminded that we're not to look down on anyone. Now, of course, Saul could look down physically, but we're not to look down and be bougie and, say, oh, I'm better than this, and no. I was listening to someone earlier today, and they were talking about how there was a battle with the high schools in Chicago, and he said that there were the bougie schools, supposedly, even though it's not really bougie, but Whitney Young and Lynn Bloom. He was talking about the Alumni Association, how strong they are, versus the vocational schools, Dunbar and CVS, and how the rivalry between high schools really become fierce. Yeah, I remember, being in high school, how Whitney Young had, an off against Kenwood, and then Kenwood perhaps against Hyde Park, and on and on and on. Listen, we're not to look down and say, oh no, we're an academy, or no, we're a selective enrollment. They didn't have that back then, but you know what I mean. And I also thought about David, how he was made, how he was formed to be a skilled warrior, but the Lord poured in so many talents in him, of course, to be skilled in playing music, writing music, but it also said that he was handsome, but more so he was courageous, he was a man of war, and he was, most of all and most important, he was with the Lord. He was anointed. So that's what the Lord wants us to focus in on today. We might have our backgrounds, our gifts, our interests, but no, it is the Lord who prospers us and evens the playing, because we're all made in His image. We would have gone to this chapter today, Psalm 7. In Thee, O Lord, do we put our trust. We might not be ideally what we would have wanted. Why am I so short? Why am I so this and that? We put our trust in the Lord. And in verse 10, our defense is of God. He is our protection. He is our light. He is our peace. And we just rest in Him. So in the meantime, whatever the Lord has poured into us, Psalms 37, He wants us, verse 3, trust in Him, do good, so that we can live in this land, dwell, and verily we shall be fed. And as we commit our way unto the Lord, He will bring everything to pass as we trust also in Him. He'll also give us some delights as we delight most of all in Him. Okay, enjoy the blessings of the Lord. Enjoy who He has made you to be. Take advantage of all the interests, all the skills, all the gifts that He has planted in you. Be at peace with what He has given you and glorify Him. Enjoy.